Alexa is a CS grad who is now working at Rapid7. I can't tell if that's a real background or like mine,
Nope,
a not
this
quite
is our
not quite real
office.
one.
We're
And
not in the office.
you're not in the office today either. All right.
Nope.
And Alexa is going to talk about a trend in hiring college students today in their first positions of what's called a rotational program, which is sort of like trying out a whole bunch of jobs all at once. So welcome back.
Yep.
It's a thrill to see you, and welcome back to the sandbox.
Thanks for having me. I'm just gonna share my presentation. All right, cool. Can everyone see my screen? So today I also invited McLean Cisco, who is here. She is our talent acquisition partner, but she will introduce herself in a few minutes. So today I'm going to talk about the rotational program at Rapid7 and just my experience through it, what I've been working on, and just the transition from pretty much how I got from being a CIS major at Bentley University to a full-time software engineer. So our agenda today is we're going to go through an introduction of who we are. Then we're going through like who is Rapid7, what do we do? Then we'll talk about what the rotational program is, and then I'll go through the 3 rotations that I've been on and what I've done there, and then we'll have some time for wrap up and questions. So first, I'm Alexa Stein. I am a graduate of Bentley University, class of 2019, a former CIS sandbox tutor, and I am now part of the build rotational program, which we'll talk about in a second. McLean, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes. Hi, everybody. Hello, Bentley Falcons. It's nice to be here and spend some time with you. As Alexa mentioned, I'm McLean. I am our campus recruiter here at Rapid7. So I look forward to hopefully meeting some of you students that we can build relationships on for any co-ops, internships, and then of course, full-time roles when we're seniors.
Yay. All right.
So I'll be covering who is Rapid7. I've worked at Rapid7 for a little over 3 years now, so I've definitely seen the company grow and evolve over the course of my tenure here. But we're a cybersecurity firm, and we're located here in downtown Boston. I don't know if you guys all remember a time before COVID, but our headquarters is right above / next to the TD Garden. So if you used to ever go to Celtics or Bruins games or concerts right down at the Garden, that is where our headquarters is. And that's where Alexa's beautiful background is showing what our office looks like. And we miss it very much. But more on the company side, we're a cybersecurity firm. So we offer a platform of products as well as accompanying services that we sell directly to other businesses. And whether it's on the more preventative, proactive side of security or the oh my goodness, I just got hacked. What do I do? Somebody help me, please. We kind of span every offering in between there. And Alexa works on the development side of 3 of the different areas of our products, helping go to customers. I think the biggest distinction that I would say for you all is unlike Google or some of these other cybersecurity or technology firms, we're business to business. So you as a user, as a student, probably don't work or would know any of the products and the offerings that we have, but they're working kind of behind the scenes for companies. We work with 52 or 55. I should definitely know which number that is. At least 52, potentially 55 of the Fortune 100 companies. But we also work with really small companies, mom and pop shops. We also don't have any one specific industry. We work with for-profit companies, but we also work with states, local and federal government agencies, higher education. So maybe Bentley could, I know you guys have cybersecurity week at Bentley, so maybe one of these days Rapid7 can get involved there. And really so being business to business, one of our main kind of core values and ways that we think about our business is really focusing on that customer centricity, measuring our success and how we do as a company based on the success and value that we provide to our customers. Oh, one moose. I should definitely mention that because you guys probably see that on the slide. So again, in addition to the value of the core, in addition to valuing our customer centricity, we also have a set of internal core values here that really guide and navigate how we interact with each other and work as a business and work as employees. And those core values range from bring you, which means be yourself. There's the only one of you out there, really celebrating each person individually. We also have impact together though, which really focuses on that cross-functional collaboration and teamwork that we always look to do and work in all of our projects and whatnot. Those two core values can kind of be described together as this one moose mentality, which comes from the idea that the the singular of the word moose, as well as the plural of the word moose, is also moose. So it's kind of quirky, kind of cheesy, totally works for us to have this internal mascot of a moose to show that whether you're doing something individually on your own or working as part of a team, we're all one moose, we're all in this together, working towards the same common goal. Another one of our core values is being advocate, which, as I mentioned earlier, really celebrates and embraces this idea of being the champion for the customer, working for them as the end goal. Another core value is challenge convention, which kind of looks at taking disciplined risks. You know, we're not just going to do the same thing that we have always done because that's what we're used to or that's what we're comfortable with. I mean, look at where we're at now in 2020, virtually meeting and doing this all over Zoom. Like, that's definitely challenging convention. And then the last one is never done, which I'm going to be honest with you all, can sometimes be used a little bit sarcastically, like, oh boy, never done. But really just celebrates this idea of continuous learning, that as humans, we're never done learning. We can always grow and improve. I'm sure you all know that once you get your degree, it's not like, all right, that's it, I'm done learning. Thanks, guys. See you later. You know, there's always more to learn, always more to do. So those core values are really the pillars of our culture here. And that's where the one moose comes from.
And never done is used all the time in the rotational program, which we'll get to later. Cool. Oh. So now this is a video. I'm going to pause it a few seconds in, and if someone can just let me know if they can hear the audio or not. But this is just highlighting our office a teeny bit so you get to see where we work and how cool it is.
Alexa,
can you guys hear that video?
Alexa, no, you might want to share your screen again and choose the box that says share audio from your laptop.
Also, if it doesn't work, we can always, this link is just on YouTube, so we can always share it out so that you guys can, I mean, I'm not sure anyone else has like a lot of free time, but you can always watch it on your own or just visit it again, because it is a really cool.
Freidenberg, where is the that audio?
So if you click on share screen, stop sharing your screen, please.
Yeah. Oh.
And now if you click on share screen again, there should be a button at the bottom that says share computer sound.
Got it. Awesome. 1 second. Technical difficulties.
Where is everybody? Are we on campus? I'm seeing some people wearing masks.
Wow.
On campus? Okay. That's fun, right?
All right. Can you guys see the video now? Is everything good?
Yep.
All right. Let's see how this works.
So the Rapid7 project was themed on what makes Boston audacious.
Boston has a great ecosystem now for technology and for innovation, and I think that that's showcased in our space today.
Rapid7 is fairly audacious in our expectations of ourselves, of our goals, and we're not just going to build a cool building, we're going to do something that's extraordinary.
We've been fortunate to build a really great working relationship with the IA team.
IA took every crazy idea we had and turned it into something even better than we could have ever imagined.
Corey is the CEO here at Rapid7. I asked him, what does your ideal work setting look like? And he drew a neighborhood on a plan that actually became the floor plan that we're sitting in here today.
What we really want to do is we want to find a way to actually bring our teams together, both across offices and across divisions, and have it be a motivational space that actually imbued our core values.
So when you walk in, we really just wanted, above all, to just feel welcome. And we did that through the atrium. We did that through the barista bar. The way we designed the space, we just tried to make it as inviting as possible.
It was all about connectivity.
Connectivity. Connectivity?
Connectivity. We brought together the teams that were in the financial district in downtown Boston with the engineers that were located in Cambridge. We wanted to make sure that they felt part of this community.
Just look at the 4-story atrium. The sole purpose of that was to bring everyone together.
You feel this sense of connectedness as you actually go through the space.
People are like being more social, but also having the opportunity to get things done quickly.
The meeting spaces are great because there's such a great variety of them. Whether you're doing an in-person one-to-one or a Zoom call with another location, you can find the right space for you.
So the space is actually doing what we designed it to do.
It was really important to Rapid7 to bring the neighborhood and the surrounding areas into the office space itself. The main receiving area is really celebrating Boston.
The textures, the tone of the neighborhood, and the views that you get of things like Bunker Hill and the bridge feels like home.
That's exactly what we had in mind.
So that was just a promo from our architects, which I decided to put in here because I thought everyone should get an insight into what our office looks like, because it really embodies the culture that Rapid7 has. And if you paid really close attention, I did make a cameo in there, just how I know about this video, that it exists, but I will let McLean take it back over because I just had to put that in there. But
Alexa, did you get a payout from your cameo, from your
I did not. I did not get a payout, but they did come around with consent forms of us being in this video while I was just doing my daily work. And we were just like, what is this? And we signed it. And then later found out that I was in this video. So it was kind of cool.
Well, then I guess it wasn't acting if you were actually working. So good for you.
It was not acting. It was in the summer too. And my hair was also like 12 inches longer. So props if you pointed me out.
Yeah, as you guys can see, we have an absolutely beautiful office. I get a little teary-eyed watching the video just because we've been at home for so long, but you see everything from, you know, the barista bar that we have to our speakeasy up on the 7th floor where the engineering teams sit. But really the main thing that I want you guys to take away is that this office space was created and designed with so much intentionality to reflect our culture and reflect our core values that I just shared with you. Being able to be collaborative and, you know, very focused and accessible to other people. So this brings us to the rotational program, which is an awesome opportunity Alexa is part of. We designed and started this rotation program only a few years ago, about like 3 years ago. Alexa was part of our very first class that started in 2019. She's gearing up to be graduating pretty soon, which is very exciting. We'll chat about that too. But to give you all a little bit more context about what our rotation program is, it really came from this idea that for Rapid7, we were founded in 2000. We went public in 2015. We're kind of like if some companies are like startups and some companies like Google are, you know, very well established, Rapid7's kind of in this like teenager kind of phase where we're not a startup, you know, we're publicly traded. We have a very good reputation and brand, but we're not a household industry name. And as a result of our hyper growth over these past few years, we'd realized that we'd done a really good job of hiring people with that mid-level experience. We're talking somewhere between like 7 to 12 to 15 years of experience. And we weren't offering very many roles at the entry level. I hate saying entry level because you guys all have great experiences coming from university, but you know, not really offering students the opportunity to start and begin their career at Rapid7. So we wanted to create a program, and we really wanted it to reflect Rapid7 and what it would mean to get your start in your career at Rapid7. So henceforth, which is the only time I will ever say henceforth in the rest of my life, we decided to create this rotation program. So it's 18 months long. And the way that we think about it is that it's really great for people that know they're interested and know they have a passion for one specific area of the business, but don't really know what that means in terms of working full-time, having that be your full-time career. And so having this 18 months gives you the opportunity to rotate through 3 different teams for 6 months at a time in that specific area of focus. Because we are a dynamic business and have several areas of focus, we've created 3 different tracks that really do center on the main kind of pillars of our business. So the build track, which Alexa is a member of and is going to explain a lot more, really focuses on the teams that help build our products. So that's our software development track. The grow track is more looking at our customer experience and all the different points that our customers would go through. You know, everything from they've never even heard of Rapid7, but maybe somebody reaches out to they're now spending however many dollars per year getting our software and services, making sure that they're continuing to be happy and healthy, and that we're growing our business through the customer's growth. And then the run track is looking more towards everything that keeps the lights on, you know, all the internal behind the scenes pieces, making sure our employees are happy and healthy, getting all the resources they need to be successful, and that, you know, our business is being able to run effectively and smoothly, efficiently too. What unites all three of these tracks is that, again, number one, they're all part of the rotation program, but there's a lot of cross-track connectivity and cross-functionality. We have a dedicated program manager who puts on monthly events for everybody in the program. So once a month, they'll be doing things like maybe a lunch and learn with one of our teams, or maybe get a guest speaker. I know in the past we've had our CEO come speak, our COO. People across the business will come and speak and present to our rotators. Now feels like a good time to talk about the nickname for these guys. You guys already know about
the second.
Oh, it's another slide. Okay, I'll save it for this slide. But another big piece that unites everybody in this program is the community service aspect. So when creating this program, we really wanted people to have the opportunity to build their career, to learn a lot, to get a lot of different experiences, but also to employ those skills and to put them to use in a really effective way. And something that's deeply important to Rapid7 is giving back to the community. I mean, being a cybersecurity firm, after all, our mission is to stop the bad guys, right? If we're getting really, really simplistic about it. That's a very big, ostentatious goal. So something that we've seen having a little bit more impact on the community level is working in our office, the communities around our offices. So we built in a community service aspect to this program where once a month, people are gonna go out into our local Boston communities to give back. We mostly focus on different STEM or D&I initiatives. Oh, sorry. Yeah, this kind of shows like the differences between the tracks. But focusing on STEM and D&I, our rotators are able to learn how to work cross-functionally. You know, you'd be working across all three of these tracks. People from all three of these tracks will be working together in those community service projects. So you're learning how to work with people that are different than you, but ultimately, you know, serving this greater purpose that we have to leave the world a little bit better than how we found it. So that is one aspect of the community service piece of this program. Just to kind of run through this slide, again, this kind of builds out or explains the differences between our tracks. Grow, focusing more on the customer, working through customer experience and customer success and user experience, and marketing. Build, which Alexa is going to go into a ton more detail for you guys on, but working in the realm of software development. And then run, which goes through our people strategy team, which is our kind of like cool tech way of saying HR, workplace experience, and finance team.
This will be quick, but we're not.
Yeah, this is pretty quick because I think everyone here is a little bit more technically focused, but we also do have a BDR program, which is a business development representative program. If you're looking to work in technology, but maybe you're not a coder, which is okay. I'm not a coder either. You can join our Rapid7 through our BDR program, which is entry-level sales. This program is a little bit different than the rotation program, just in the way it's set up, that we are looking for people that are laser focused on starting in sales. So if that is where you're interested in going post-graduation, we have an 18 to 24 month program that will get you to an account executive closing role at the end of the program. All right.
All right. Now I could get into this name, the Rotato.
Okay, Alexa, this is all you.
So this is a term of endearment given to the class of Rotatos to help quantify us instead of saying rotational program member. We just call ourselves Rotatos, and then it just actually someone gave us the name and we just ran with it. So I will refer to myself as a Rotato for the rest of the presentation. We have this really cute little graph, like picture to represent us, of our potato with antlers, because one moose. And here I will link this to Professor Freudenberg, but this is a blog post if you want to learn more about the Rotato life. I'm actually featured in that blog post, so it's talking about more of the community service aspect and also kind of what skills you would need to be a part of the Rapid7 Rotato life. That could be for a later stage. So I'm going to go into the 3 rotations that I've been through and are still currently in, because I think I'm on like month 16 of 18, which is crazy. So I first started out with a platform called Insight Connect. So Insight Connect is one of our softwares that does security orchestration and automation. And coming from college to going to a security orchestration and automation software and just working with a very large code base and database was really interesting. I will have a slide at the end that shows you how much I've learned in this past 16 months, which is just crazy. But coming from college to going to this, I had to pretty much learn how to use GitHub. I switched my major, I think my second semester sophomore year. So I kind of felt a little bit behind the curve. I really wasn't doing a lot of side projects on my own before. So this has really been, it was a big jump for me. So I worked in a full stack position for this rotation, so I can experiment a lot of different things. So what the security and automation tool does is it pretty much is a workflow automator, which can automate anything. If you want to automate ordering pizza, Domino's, Grubhub to your house at 10 p.m. every night, it could do that. I mean, we use it for security purposes because we're a cybersecurity company, but if you did want to, it could. So what we use it for is, these are 2 examples that I picked out that would be easiest to explain. So for email phishing, say a security engineer gets 1,000 emails a day. It takes them 1 hour to realize if it's a real phishing email or if it's a fake one. And then they start using this workflow, and the workflow can do that for them. And then they end up getting 10 emails a day. That's going from 1,000 hours a day of work to 10 hours a day of work. So it really can orchestrate and automate, like just saving time, saving money, all that kind of stuff. And then provisioning and deprovisioning users, it can automate that. So if someone gets fired from the company, we can deny all their access immediately, which is also something really useful and cool. So you can make sure you don't forget anywhere that they have access so they can never get back in. So things that I've worked on, just for real life examples of coming from college, just being like my first 3 weeks or 6 months actually on a software, I was pretty much helping create metrics on the back end to help debug user issues. So if you're getting 500 error messages or they were having issues, we can now go look and say, oh, like you've had this many error messages. Why are you doing this? At which point? So that I was able to help debug that and create those metrics so we can help the user get through their problems easier. And then I also did some QA. So to learn the product, I helped test out new features to help find bugs in the products and the new feature that we were deploying to find bugs before the customer did. So I just had to like build a million workflows, and which was actually really fun for me because I got to like explore the product, which is something that I asked for. I was like, can I do some QA just to like get to know the product a little bit more? So I highly suggest you do that whenever you go to your first job, just because it really helps you learn what you're doing in the bigger picture, because you're not just working on one task, you get to see everything that that software offers. So that was something really fun that I did and I loved. And then from that, I was able to do some front-end development, some UX, UI, which has been really cool because I've never taken a front-end development course at Bentley. I was completely just doing back-end work. So for me, and when I took IT 101, we didn't have the build a website through HTML. We did it through drag and drop. So you guys are a little bit more advanced than me when you're coming in, because I know that when I was a senior, they started using HTML in IT 101. I'm like, wait, what? And so I started learning some front-end development, which was really cool to learn on the job. They gave me the tools. I was learning from experts. And I was able to do some just small bug fixes. So like some small like text changes or color changes or moving a button from the top right to the bottom left, just to get myself used to working with the front end, which has been really cool and helpful. Then I moved on to platform delivery, which is our DevOps team. So DevOps is using the cloud infrastructure. We work with Amazon Web Services, so I was able to learn how to keep our data and customer data and just our softwares as a whole up and running and available. So that was really cool to learn how to do that. On this team, I wrote an automation script to help save the company money by using and exchanging EC2 reserved instances, which was really cool. I wrote a script from start to finish, and I was able to see the production that happened in production and how much impact that had on the company, which has been super awesome. And then I also was able to do on-call rotations, which is like within the first year of my job, I was able to go on call 24/7 to help combat fires and operational incidents, not fires. I don't want to scare you. It's not that scary. To keep our infrastructure readily available and making sure that we are always up and running, and that if someone tries to sign on, they won't get an error code and be like, you can't see this, you can't get on, you can't access your data. That's not what we want. We want to always be there to help the customer. We don't want to cause any interruptions in their day. So that was the on-call that I had. If you guys have questions, I can answer about that too. But there's a lot that happens on call, and you got to know a lot about Amazon Web Services. So I was able to actually take a training class through Amazon to learn more about the Amazon Web Services too. So you're not completely left in the dark here either. They will definitely help teach you all of this. You don't have to learn all this on your own, which I will get to also. And then now currently I am on Insight Detection Response. I'm on month 4 out of 6 of this rotation. And this Insight Detection Response is a security information and event management. So pretty much I set a rule saying that I'm not going to leave the country or use a VPN from another country within the next 6 months. And I want to know if within that 6 months, if someone logs in from my account in a different country, I want that flagged, and I want all my accounts shut down automatically. So what this software does is it will scan all of our data. It'll detect, since I set that rule, it will detect that someone logged in from, let's say, Ecuador, and on my account, and I said I didn't want that to happen, that they will automatically respond and say, shut down all of her accounts. And that's just because I set that rule. So this is just a detection and response software, which is really cool. So what I'm working on currently right now is I am working with a direct mentor and the backend team to create a whole new user interface for a new feature called the parsing tool, where we are parsing through logs so you can see exactly when I signed on or someone else signed on, and I could just search for my name in that tool, which is really cool. And then I'm also helping move old legacy Backbone code to the newer and fancier React, just because that's where all of our code is now in React, and Backbone is, I wouldn't say outdated, but it's less used in our code. So we're trying to transfer everything else to the newer code, which is really cool.
Thank you.
So this slide, I'm going to wrap it up really quick. It's been 16 months, not 18 months, but these are all the things that I've learned to use and or code in, which it looks like a lot. It really is a lot. But I've also had a lot of help and guidance through my mentors at Rapid7, and it's been a really great just overall experience. I can't speak highly enough about this rotational program, because look at how much I've learned within 16 months. I mean, if you're in a class, you learn Python in, 6 months or 1 semester, and like I've learned 3 languages in that same amount of time on one team. So it's a very accelerated course. It's definitely a lot to learn, and you really have to put 100% of your effort in to get 100% out, but it's definitely really rewarding. I am so grateful for being able to learn all these different tools within 16 months. I've never thought I'd be able to add all these to my little treasure box, but it's definitely been awesome. So now that was pretty much everything we had. It was a little bit more about the rotational program and my experience. If you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them. If you don't want to answer them now, you can always email me. I told McLean I was doing this, and she was so excited she wanted to join, so that's why she's here. But other than that,
for coming.
Yeah.
And Alexa, thank you. I have a question for you. And I can say this because I never had you. I don't think I ever had you in class, but the question I have for you is, what part of your Bentley experience do you think prepared you the most to succeed at Rapid7?
That is a great question. And I would say working as a tutor at the CIS Sandbox, I wouldn't say that is a course, but if you do have the opportunity to become a tutor at the CIS Sandbox, I highly suggest doing that. Being able to work through code in a collaborative environment has been provided itself like really helpful, because like in the job, you're not, all of your like assignments are pretty much going to be individual assignments, because it's considered cheating if you use someone else, if someone else does your work. So you don't want to do that. But in the workplace, you really need to like rely on your coworkers to help solve a problem faster and get through it. You really do need to build those foundational skills, like problem solving skills in school, but like once you get to the real life job, you're really going to need to learn to collaborate and co-code with fellow employees and coworkers. So I think that was really important, and that what I learned in the CI Sandbox as being a tutor, or even going there and being tutored and having that collaborative response of being like, I want to do this. What do you think? This looks great. Maybe change this. Like this could be easier, like more easily done this way. That has been really rewarding and definitely was one of the best traits I brought over.
And I should tell you that I didn't plan for you to give me that answer, but
you did not. You didn't give me these questions in advance either.
So two things. Can you please send the chat the link to the blog post you talked about so we can have that?
I can, yeah.
And also your LinkedIn contact so we can find you. And if you'd stop sharing so we can see everybody, that would be great too.
Yeah.
I want to ask the students who are here, after hearing from Alexa and hearing from Avinash, what parts of their work environments or job tasks or careers might you see yourself doing? So what was it that was there anything that as you're listening to them, you thought, hey, that might be something I could do a few years from now? Chris, I'll ask you because you just came on in the corner of my screen.
I definitely see like the value in the program. Like I'd look, it definitely looks like something I'll be interested in. And I could definitely see the role in cloud computing and security, just because like even in high school, I wrote a paper I've always been interested in. I wrote a paper about Spectre and Meltdown. So when you talked about the points, I was really wondering about like how large businesses approach solving problems like that, and how in a collaborative workspace you can like create a change. And so yeah, I definitely can see both of those jobs and careers in the future coming through.
Awesome. Thank you.
I love that. I also want to add that I did, to get myself interested in the cybersecurity space, I worked with Professor Page, who I believe doesn't work at the Bentley anymore, but this is something that you guys can do. I got involved in a research project with her about Facebook security, and that's how I got invested in cybersecurity. So if you don't know if you're interested in something like this, I highly suggest getting involved in research with the CIS professors and seeing what they're doing. That was also an awesome thing to try in college to see what my interests were. So Chris, that's definitely awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Diego, what do you think? Diego's quiet. Diego's gone. Anna, do you want to answer?
How do you get into the program?
McLean.
So I met Alexa at the Bentley Career Fair. I think that I'm going to kind of take your question and morph it a little bit, like what would make somebody stand out as a candidate for this program. Alexa really stood out to me when I met her at the career fair. She definitely had done her research ahead of time. She knew who we were. She knew that we had a job posted, and she was like, I want to apply. How do I stand out? How do I do this? And I was like, well, tell me a little bit about yourself. What are you looking for? She said, I saw the rotation program. I'm super interested. Here's a little bit about my background. Here's what I'm looking to learn and do more. And that was a great way. You know, we made that face-to-face connection. I got to hear a little bit more about her that I'm not going to see just from reading a piece of paper on a resume, you know? So I know with career fairs and the state of the world right now, that's not as easy to do, but I definitely think things like this are a great opportunity to network and to show your interest and to stay in touch. I think at Rapid7 too, we definitely have a lot of referrals. So if you know somebody who works at Rapid7, now you know both of us. That's a good way to get your foot in the door. But I think as a candidate for this program and specifically for the software engineering rotation, the team is really looking for more so like, what are your passions and what are your interests? One of their favorite questions to ask is like, what languages have you taught yourself and how do you teach yourself those? And just being able to say, yeah, like, you know, I'm self-taught in JavaScript and I watched a million YouTube videos about it. And I worked on this side project to do XYZ. You know, that's always going to really stand out to the team. I know it's hard because we're all busy. We all have our schoolwork and internships, but anytime that you can take for yourself to play around a little bit to learn something new, the team is always looking for people that have that insatiable curiosity and just want to kind of like tinker and learn things. So I would definitely say utilize your connections and utilize people in your network, but also to continue to work and continue to try different things to learn on your own. Because what I've heard so much about being a software engineer and you know, studying a computer science type field is that you're actually learning how to learn. So you're always going to be learning, #never done. So I would recommend those kind of things to stand out in the interview process.
I want to quickly kind of piggyback onto that. So making, you know, connections with folks working at companies is really important. And again, you know, from my personal experience, it worked out for me. So I would highly encourage, you know, you folks to kind of try to connect with people who are already working and try to, you know, understand different teams, things like that, and then go apply.
Thank you both. I think with that, we will stop because classes start again in a few minutes. We'll give them everybody a chance to does anybody have any last questions or comments? You've got their contact info in the chat. We'll post the video of this on the Sandbox website later this week, along with their presentations. If you guys, if Alexa and Avinash can make those available to us. Next week, we've got one more speaker coming next week and one more speaker coming the following week. Our presenter next week is Josh Goldenberg. Josh also works at Google doing machine learning. And so he'll be here next Wednesday, talking about artificial intelligence and machine learning at Google. And Josh is in New York. He graduated from Bentley, I think about probably 8 years ago. And then the following week on the 18th of November, our last speaker will be Rashid Maser from Uber. And he's going to be talking about strategy at Uber, joining us from the West Coast, and Roderick Yao, also from the West Coast, talking about open data analytics, and he's also at Google. So lots of Bentley alum doing awesome things and great companies. And thank you all for joining us to hear about their stories. And a big thanks to Avinash and Alexa for today.